It's just your unique creation. And that is connected to, some call it God, source, the source of all life. That includes everything. And that's where you have a channel of communication, ingoing and outgoing. That's always there. And that is the purpose of it, is that you can navigate your life. You have free will, so you have a million choices and you have a million possibilities every second of any day.
Hi, and welcome to the Awakening series. My name is Kimberly Archuleta. Today we have an amazing guest. Her name is Dani. She is an intuitive teacher, an artist, and so many other things. She's also my dear friend. I love her, and I'm so excited to bring her on the show. Dani, welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful. This is fun.
I love it. I love it. This is going to be fun. Dani, if you could give us some insight about your background and your journey.
Well, my background is really quite extensive. I've lived in different countries. I'm German. I lived in the US and South America. I've traveled a lot. I've had different businesses. I've done a lot of different things. But I've always been drawn to getting to the bottom of spirituality and the core essence of it. I grew up very much atheistic. It was in East Germany. I was 18 when the wall came down. And I thought this is all nonsense. And I had a good laugh at everything. But then it was the only thing that worked. I go by what works in the end, no matter, it's not so much if people are right or wrong, but what works. And what worked for me was spiritual work. It helped me change my life and solving some mysteries and so on. And then I started that at the age of 20-ish. I began with things that had to do with Wiccan cultures, shamanism, that sort of thing, and then went through the entire New Age mill. I am a disciple of Paramahansa Yogananda, one of the most enlightened beings in this planet.
My absolute favorite. I love it.
Yeah. I've studied with Aravinda Himadra, and at the end of the day, it came down to me like, what does everyone need? Anyone, because spirituality is not a hobby to me or a job. I mean, you can't do it full time, but it's inherent in everyone's nature, but it's so distorted, or there's so many issues with it that people have. So my whole path was always geared toward getting to the bottom of what everyone needs, the essence, and provide useful tools that are as simple as possible.
That's wonderful.
That's my journey.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And as we've spoke about before, your journey is just phenomenal. I love that you teach intuition. I love that because it's one of the most paramount things that we have in our lives that allow us to control things within it by listening to ourselves, by stopping and taking that moment and not being on autopilot, but actually listening to ourselves, listening to our gut feeling. And we weren't taught that, right? Nobody was really taught that.
Yeah, I know. It's like the most important thing. And that's no matter what spiritual path I was on, or no matter what personal problem I tried to solve. I guess that's what got me on this. I don't want to get into all the gory details, but we all know what suffering is. We all know what trauma is, or just things we don't want in our life, or where things don't go right, or we don't make the right decisions. If we would have been taught, if we would have been taught the right things as children, things that are inherent to our system that everyone needs to operate this reality, this system and this reality, then it would be so much easier to navigate all the challenges in life. And B, how do you get the stuff out of your system if you haven't been gifted enough or fortunate enough to have this education in your life? So everything no matter what I looked into or practiced for myself spiritually or understood, not just spiritually, also psychologically, emotionally, it all comes down to intuition. It's the number one thing that everyone needs. It's sort of a mechanism or something that is native to your system, and it can help you with anything. And it's the one thing we are not being told how to use. And it's tragic. So I'm sort of on a mission to help with that, to make it easily understood without any woo-woo and any spiritual connotation from a specific path or anything like that. So yeah,
that makes perfect sense, and I'm so thankful for people like yourself, because again, we weren't taught this, and your journey is so beautiful, and you can now bring this in to, like, from what you've learned from your path, and bring this into so many people's lives and change their lives, because they will now be able to have that knowing, right? And understand the knowing and feel the knowing and listen to the knowing, and then maybe even gain greater power within their knowing as their intuition is, I guess, what would the word be, like, it grows, or you truly can feel it more, or you understand it more, or, because I'm sure there's different levels of learning intuition, and, oh yeah, that was a funny feeling, I don't think I like that, but like
yeah.
it, right? And I know, like, the Steve Jobs of the world said that, intuition is is more important than wisdom, or I should say than like education, right? It's more important because
it is your education.
It's your own education.
That is the original education of how you're educating yourself.
I love that you said that. That makes so much sense. Yeah, it's educating yourself. Yeah. So that's just phenomenal. As far as intuition itself, what can you give us as far as some insight about it, like, for people that are just on the path of learning about it and not really, or maybe just kind of on autopilot like most of us?
Yeah, excellent question. See, when I wanted to start on the intuition course first, and then I realized it is so extensive, all the things that belong to this topic. It's so much knowledge that we don't have. And what you said earlier is knowledge is important, but wisdom is another layer of knowledge. It's sort of, it's processing the experience that you've gained from the knowledge, and then gain your own insight in your own system and your own upgrade from that knowledge. It's sort of an integrated level of this. And knowledge is power, absolutely. That you're absolutely right about that. Intuition is it is a kind of knowledge. Let me start from the big picture, so we're getting an overview of what we're talking about here. The way I understand it, of course, So intuition is something that is always on. There is nothing you have to do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's designed to run your system all the time on all levels. It's there, it's for you. It's also custom tailored to your specific experience, because what's good for you and in this moment might not be for the next person or in the next moment. So it is your connection, your language. Let's call it a language between your existence here. You need to operate this three-dimensional world somehow. It's tricky enough with a two-dimensional, with a linear timeline and a three-dimensional reality. It's kind of, it's interesting. So you need some kind of a guidance, and the guidance is the connection between yourself, your physical being here, and your greater self. You're not just this. You have layers. There's energy layers. There's your auric field. There is a greater being of yourself. And that is really just a part of a larger being that has projected itself into this reality. I don't want to get too metaphysical, but so there's here the three-dimensional, there's your larger self. That larger self is also unique. That is your unique being. That's not anyone else. That's not your spirit guide. That's not your ancestors. It's not God. It's just your unique creation. And that is connected to, some call it God, source, the source of all life. That includes everything. And that's where you have a channel of communication, ingoing and outgoing. That's always there. And that is the purpose of it, is that you can navigate your life. You have free will, so you have a million choices and you have a million possibilities every second of any day. The past is dead. The future doesn't exist. It's a bunch of wavelength, really. There are trajectory lines, but how do you navigate that? And it's supposed to be a navigation tool. It's also supposed to inform you where you're at in any given moment. Like it's connecting to your feeling nature, and there's a difference between feelings and emotions, and that's a longer conversation. But let's just say, for the sake of vocabulary, your feeling nature is what is the language of your intuition in your physical reality. Because so this is how you can read it. You can also hear it or see it. Or people have different languages for themselves, and that can be developed. That's one of the things we need to learn. We should have learned how we read this language, right? But so yeah, it's the short story there. It's there. It's always on. There's nothing you can do about it. It's working for you. It's supposed to be the tool for your major decision making in life, not your mind. It can't do that. It is not capable of doing that, which is why it's so stressful for the mind. But that's another topic. The issue is that it's buried under all kinds of crap. We cannot hear it, so there is the communication is distorted and or mixed up with all kinds of other things that are not coming from your intuition. So we're just here and being confused because we don't know what to listen to, what's what sounds like what. So that's really it. It's there, you're enlightened, you're wonderful, everything's great, you're just the way, everything's good in a present moment, but it's covered up under layers of things that do not belong in your system that clutter up the language of your intuition, which causes a lot of problems. So that is as compact as I can make this short description.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like all of these conditions and programs that we, have had and allowed to, be in our lives, due to our environment, our heritage, whatever it may be, how we were treated. Great or bad or just neutral. Yeah, those layers are real. Like it's so many layers. And I feel like it's nice to hear that from you, because I think we kind of sometimes feel a little stressed just because we can't listen to our intuition. Right? We're like, I know that something's telling me something, but I can't even listen to it. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
And then you get distracted.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even care. So
and it's frustrating.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yes, exactly. It's so frustrating. So my path in life is to this is one of them, is to understand myself and listen to my intuition and kind of remove the layers. And is that what your course teaches, is to remove those layers, or how do we go about doing that?
Well, the first course I have out is the Let Go, But How, and it has to do with intuition. The larger actual intuition course is coming up later. But one of the things I'm explaining in this course, because it is part of it, is sort of a brief overview of what intuition is. What does it do? Why do we care? Why do we care in this context? And then how is it connecting it to feelings and emotions, and how does all that work? Because the course is not just for to let go of things that don't belong in your system. These things you can't crack. Like you can clear them out, but then here they are again. Here's that relationship again, or here's that stress again, or here's that whatever. We all know what it is. So this course explains what intuition has to do with your feelings and emotions and how it's connected. Because in short, the way we have to call it something, right? And it's just language. There's only so much we can say. Emotions are what's whacking around in your system. It's loud, and there are really things that don't need to be there. There are stressors that point at a distortion in your system. They point at the very things that are covering up your intuition. And that could be many things. It could be old belief systems. It could be a habit. It could be a hope. All of it is fear-based. It's mostly identity structures, things, ways we get to know ourselves. It's imprinting we get from society, from our parents, authority structures, the way we're supposed to know ourselves. And then there's the confirmational loop and all of this. It gets quite, but so emotions point at things that you don't need in your system. And they actually, not only do you not need them, but they hinder you from really being present in the present moment, because that's all you have. And make the right decisions, because if these things are whacking around in your system, you're just making your decisions on autopilot out of old patterns. And it's a lot of this. It's not this one issue that you have over here. It's most of what's running your decision making comes from this nonsense that nobody needs. And there's reasons why this is there. But so in the course, I'm explaining how to get rid of that without getting into all the stories, like why is it there? What's the trauma? What happened? When? Is it karmic? Is it collective? Is it this or that? It doesn't matter. What matters is the emotion, because it points, we don't need the stories and the reasons, we don't need to understand all of it. It points at where the source of the problem is. And we're taking this to dig deeper, get it out of our system, and free up our feeling nature, which is much quieter and finer, but we can't hear it under all this noise. The other thing we're learning in the course is how we can read our system. When are we in the right place? Like, what does it feel like? What does an emotion feel like? What does a feeling feel like? And that's really mainly what you need to start training yourself to read your intuition. And because this way you cannot, you can let go of things that don't belong in your system, but you can also learn to read yourself and know where you're at in any given situation. For example, if you have to make a decision, what does it feel like? And there will be more about that in the actual intuition course, and I also do one-on-one coaching and transformational work, which I love. But for example, you can tell in your body, something feels heavy, something is stressful. Things that you don't need in your system, usually, here's some 3 telltale signs, and it gets more involved and it's more complex. We all know that in our personal life, but the way we can tell is it's either a stress, a pressure, or a pain. If you feel any of those, if you can sense them, and you don't need to know where they're coming from or what it is or why it's there, the whole story. It actually helps if you can just focus on, if you get out of your analyzer about it. That gives you an inroad to getting all the stuff out of your system. And sometimes, and under all of it is fear. It's some fear. It's just fear is something that nobody admits to or that we can't feel. And it doesn't feel like some horrible terror. It's just something that turned into a pattern in your life, and you can't actually feel it anymore, So that's why the emotions help to get to the bottom of those. And if you get a good one, sometimes it deletes an entire series of patterns in your life, of disturbances that have manifested or that repeat themselves, or stresses that on the surface level in your reality look like they have nothing to do with each other, but they're all rooted in the same fear. And the emotion is just there. It just is. It just points at something that maybe you there is something there. And you can use this as a tool for your growth process, just liberate yourself.
Okay, I'm sorry, say that again.
And to liberate yourself, I'm into freedom. I want everybody to be free and powerful and live their life they feel is best for them. And this really helps to unburden yourself and liberate yourself.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Like decades of conditioning, decades of annoyances, decades of
Yeah.
frustrations. And I love that you don't have to go into every single one, because then you'll kind of like wrap yourself up in that feeling and that and the emotion or both, whatever. And it just takes you down another spiral when now you're saying, no, you don't have to do that. We don't have to go into that.
Yeah, you don't have to, and it's actually easier that way. And that's one of the things I love about this method is it just can save you so much time in healing sessions and money. And I mean, a lot of us have not one issue, they would like to address. And it doesn't have to be some heavy item, but it's just all the little things that we picked up that we don't need, that don't belong in our system, or that has served us one time, but they're outdated, all of this. So yeah, that's the great thing. You don't need to know it. It's as long as you can feel it, as long as you can say that, or you can say there is a disturbance on, yeah, it's it'll work. Mhm.
That is so powerful. I'm so excited about this course of yours that I haven't taken yet, that I will take. And I just truly appreciate your love for society and allowing people to just to, we'll just say, get to another level in their life where they can hear themselves, feel themselves, whatever it is, whatever their language is in regards to intuition. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for putting forth all this energy and effort to help people and to make society better as a whole, because one person feels better, the next person, and the next person, and now they can teach their kids and what we never were
Yeah.
taught.
It is so easy. Like once you get the gist of the method, and the course also at the end, I'm explaining 13 other methods of letting go. Once you understand the underlying principle, which has to do with resistance, with your emotions, and how all that works, which is really, it's really simple in the end. Once you have built a little neural net of the process, it's really simple to understand. It's simple to apply. It's easy to teach to your kids, to your family members. I wish every kid would learn this, to manage their stress level, or to know how to grow themselves. And it's just a beautiful thing. Growth is really an inherent to our nature, and everybody is unique, and everybody needs to do it on their own time, in their own speed, in a different way. And it's so perfect what you just said is, if each of us were able to take care of ourselves, there wouldn't be a problem in the world. If everybody has a different reach in life. Some people are here to be a mother. Some people are here to run an empire, and some people are supposed to meditate in a cave in the Himalayas, and some not, and every being here is unique, and it's tragic how this society is designed to uniform us. And it's not working really well, We're just ending up being well adjusted to a society that is not working in our favor, as a being. So if all of us take care of ourselves, it would be so powerful. This would be a different place.
I love
And
that you said that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I love that you said
oh,
that.
sure.
We are truly just adjusting to a society that isn't that healthy for us. But if we were able to each individually get more healthy internally, then the society would blossom. Then the society would be healthy for us. And then we could, yeah. So I love that you said that. That's huge.
It is huge. It is, one of the big lies that we are being told in every Hollywood movie is that there's one hero who saves everybody. It's not true. There are leaders, of course, and there's leading positions, but we need to put ourselves back in the driver's seat, and we need to acknowledge our power and our authority over our own being. We've been so trained to hand it over to an outside source, to the TV, to the boss, to the parent, to the friend. It's all outside opinions. And the first thing that happens to beings in this life, for the most part in this world, and unfortunately for a very, very, very long time, is they're being detrained, like stripped off thoroughly of their what's unique, what's their intuition, and everything that can run their system properly and in a healthy way, where they can grow themselves and where they have an orientation of where they are in any given moment. Is this good for me? Do I need to be here? Does this have anything to do with me? Should I grab this opportunity? Should I run and save my life? Is this the same pattern again? And so we're being this is completely wiped out and thoroughly throughout the entire education process on every level, while it's being replaced with something that's entirely artificial, that doesn't work for us. It works for a society that needs to produce a lot of worker bees, where you function in a certain way, and that's what you get, but it doesn't. Yeah, the important part gets removed, while something else that really works against you is being forced on us, and it's so subtle in so many ways, and we don't even realize that that's what's going on. And once you realize it, see, that's what a lot of people wake up to, is now what? Now do you spend the next 50 years in therapy, or good luck finding somebody who can deal with your stuff, to begin with. Yeah. So I'm on a mission to finding a shortcut that is simple and easy.
And it sounds like you have. I mean,
yeah, I did.
It sounds like you really have. I mean, what you're saying makes so much sense. Like, I can go and, do like a calculus course, in high school, and yeah, it makes sense. But this really makes sense because it touches my deeper part of who I am. It allows me to have hope for my kids, for myself, for my community. It's something so much deeper, and that's another part of society that we don't have, is that deep, going so deep. And this is phenomenal. This is so deep that I am excited. I'm so excited to go to your course. I'm so excited to learn these processes to transform my life, to elevate it, and the people around me. So I'm so excited. I'm so happy. All of your insight is just wow. So profound.
Yeah, it was the one thing that has been bugging me. I had all these heavy things going on and whatever. It's just life. It's just stuff. And everybody has their own, know what it's like to have something in their system that they're not, or just to be unhappy, or just stuck, or feeling like something is off or something is wrong. Or that could be in your life, it could be emotionally, whatever. And it was bugging the heck out of me. I was or somebody said, well, just let go of it. I was like, what? How? Okay, I let go. That's great. And still feeling crappy, I've experienced that. I've worked with so many. I mean, I was so fortunate to work with so many incredible healers and teachers. And some of the sessions I had were really beautiful, and they helped immensely in the moment. But then 3 days later, I was back where I was. It was sort of a Band-Aid. And those people were wonderful. They did their best. But there was something missing for me. And so the letting go thing and the intuition, they go hand in hand, because, it's freeing you up to who you really are. So, and then I found this one method, this particular method of letting go, I love, and I've some of it comes from an ancient tradition, and it has a name, but I don't want to get into specific polarizing paths or anything like that. And that clicked in my system, and most of the course is based on that, but it's also a mix of all kinds of other methods I tried. The key is to remove resistance. And how do you do that? Which sounds great. If somebody says that to you, you're like, yay. And now what? You know? Yes, and how do we get there? What is it like? How does it? I'm just trying to get to the mechanics of how things actually practically work and try to communicate it in the best, simplest way I can. Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm so excited. So tell us a little bit about your artwork.
My artwork. Yeah, I just redid my website. Thank you for asking. It's just something I love doing, and I've developed this strange style that I can't really compare to anything. One of my older drawings, not all of the ones on the website, but oh, by the way, that's danielakelly.com. That I'm not really sure where they're coming from. I'm just getting out of the way and let it pass through. But they remind me of beings or cultures of some of them that are not here. It could be interdimensional, it could be other worlds, other planets, other time frames. But it's always been interesting to me to capture somebody's feeling or emotion in their face. So they're not portraits, they're just expressions of somebody. So yeah, and they're digital, which means that I can produce them in, you don't need to get the original. So that makes my day. I like for things to be available and accessible. So
absolutely, they're beautiful. They're so fun too. It's enlightening. Like I wouldn't. Maybe it's they're just they're fun. I like them. They're really cool. Thank you for taking the time to pursue what you like. And I think a lot of times we don't do that. Like if somebody likes gardening or artwork or crocheting or playing basketball, we don't always give ourselves time to do that. And you actually have done that. And now you have a website full of your art. So I love that you're giving yourself time to like express yourself in a creative way.
Yeah, I need to do that more often, and it's one of those things that I want to pursue more from now on. It was sort of on the sidelines, but it is crucial, especially for women, but for everybody, also to pull up your artistic side and your intuition. They sort of go hand in hand, and your creative energy needs to have an outlet. It's one of the things that are important for our being, and it could be making artwork, it could be creating a business, like you do. Like that is like it's a fantastic way of using your creative intelligence to bring something in this world that is your baby, and it's there and it's out there and it's for people to enjoy, and it's a great thing. And creativity and imagination are important. They're very, very important. It's one of the imaginations. It's one of the things we're being completely stripped of, especially the children, what they're exposed to or what they're playing with. It's one of those things that make us very powerful,
Absolutely.
Especially if you learn it early on.
Yeah. Again, going back to what we need to learn and how we need to change society in a sense, little by little, right?
It's an inside job.
There you go. That needs to be a quote. You need to put that on a t-shirt. That's it. I love that.
Changing society is an inside job. Let's sell some t-shirts.
There you go.
It really is. It really is. I mean, you can see, I do readings, and some of them have been political or on the larger scale, so like tarot readings, what's going on in the world. And I've gotten a lot of questions of what's going on, what's really going on, what's behind the scenes, and how's it work, and will it all be better, and when, and will we have med beds, and will everything be like, when is the Aquarian age kicking in right now? Like what's like now would be good. And the thing with all of this is, it doesn't matter. Like if we had the perfect society today, externally, the perfect leaders, everything great, the air is clean, everything's cleaned up, the education system's cleaned up, everything, the healthcare system, everything that we need would be at its optimum for us to function. We are still the same. We need to take care of this here, and this and this. Like these things need to work in alignment. And that is what creates a whole new world.
That was so beautiful. Shamya, you're so profound in everything you do and so kind and loving and generous with your time. If you want to give the audience a little bit more about what you do and how you can help them and where to find you, we'd love to hear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your kindness. I just love you. and
I love you too.
Thank you for your nice words.
Of course, yeah. So where can we find you? Like Daniela, what was the website for the artwork as well?
Okay, the artwork is danielakelly.com.
Okay.
Then I have my own, that is shamyafreedomworks.com. That is where you can find, you can book a reading, like a tarot reading, astrology reading, or just a one-on-one session. I love doing transformational work. I love working people through things if they're stuck or if they have trauma work to do. I'm really good at heavy lifting with the deep, gory things.
So you to be able to do that and like truly say you would do that is huge. Like not many even psychologists or psychotherapists would take that type of person on. So
yeah, I work with people who actually want to change. I'm not good for anyone who isn't quite there yet, but I usually find the right people. So yeah, I love doing that. I also do that with my husband, with John. We're a fantastic team doing energy clearings and transformational work with people. And we have just developed it's like a mini seminar. It's like a personalized mini workshop where we're working with one person, one-on-one, but for an extended period of time. So you can do that 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days with us in a row, like a weekend or something. Because we know what it's like to, you have your fantastic healer session or you're at the psychiatrist or whatever, and you're just starting to get somewhere because it's hard, it's touchy, and it's not pleasant, and then like, up, your hour's up. Go away. You're like, what? I'm just starting to, And so we love working with people who really want to change things in their world, in their life, and who are willing to step up to the plate and really, put in the work and be serious about it. And so this will help shift immensely where they're at. But I can do that by myself. John can do this by himself. He's an amazing psychic and energy worker. He's excellent at energy clearings. And we work well together. It's very powerful.
Yeah, when you guys work together, it's even more powerful.
By the way, the website we both have a website. So it's sort of a landing page for all our stuff, and that's daniandjohn.com. So
that's easy.
Yeah, so it's easy. Sorry.
And where can we find the course?
The course lives on my website, on the Dani and John website, and yeah, it's available as a video online course, which I made on your amazing platform. Can I say that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this course is very engaging and intuitive.
It's beautiful.
Interaction. Yeah.
It's very elegant. It's easy because the information is quite dense at times, so it's very easy to get to it in a playful way. You can also access it at your own time. You don't have to go through one module to get to the next one. So you're free to learn this in any which way you want. It has text, it has video. So what's explained in writing, it's also explained in videos because some people learn better that way, or both. It has guided meditations on audio. So you can just skip all the rest and just go straight to me walking you through the process and then do it backwards or whatever. So yeah, and it's available as that. And then, but there's also a PDF version that's sort of the simplified version for somebody who just wants that. And also as a book, as a ring bound book, a spiral bound. So sometimes people just like having something in their hand that they can look at and sit on the couch with. So that's what that's for. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get into that course. And I'm just so thankful for your time. I'm thankful for all of your work that you've done on yourself from within, and now bringing it forth to the greater good. You guys are just amazing. You and your husband. I'm very thankful for both of you. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for your time. And thank you for helping me with producing this course. And thank you for this interview. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. I believe in you wholeheartedly. So yeah. Thanks, Shamya.
Thank you. I love you very much, and all the best to you. Take care.
Bye.